I've glassed the difficult side with the bumps. That's gone hard, and I've sanded back the edges again. Now I'm going to do the other 3 sides in one go. If I was designing this boat, I think I wouldn't have done it like this. I just would have had a straight centerboard case. It's actually quite difficult to work on all this, but if you just made a case that went down, you can make it on the table, install it, and then glue it around at the bottom. I think it would be easier. I'm going to try a new technique for fiberglassing, because this inside hole is quite tricky to get to. I've fit it dry and cut it to size, and I've marked it so I can put it back in the same place, just sitting here with these weights, so everything has got a bit of extra room. I'm not going to glass the whole thing, I'm just going to come up a little bit over the edge. And yeah, everything's oversized, so once it gets tacky, I'll just cut off the excess with a razor. And I'm not going to, usually I wet the sides and then wait for it to get sticky and use that to hold it up, but that makes it really difficult to reposition and get it in exactly the right spot. So I'm just going to I'm going to remove the fiberglass, wet out the wood, and then stick it up while it still hasn't set. Rubber band on the cuff of my overalls, but I realized if I put it on the palm side, then it definitely won't, the gloves definitely won't slip up, and I won't touch any epoxy, because I don't really touch stuff with the back of my hand. Okay, my plan here, this is now sticky, create a nice edge by just cutting off the excess, but now that the glue has set, it won't, the edges won't fray. going to test how much sanding I can do in an hour. The time is currently 19:11. Here, there's still a lot of brush strokes. There's still a lot of brush strokes in this. I'm going to try I'm going to try the next size up sandpaper. Next, paint is flaking off curiously right around this thing, this template. Now, getting some of the others of these off, they're not painted underneath, which means they weren't removed with the previous paint job. This now, I got to here, I started here. So, and there's still a lot of bits where there's little bumps in the paint and little dips. Getting the feeling that I actually need to use a more powerful sander, like a belt sander or something. But it was a good experiment. Going to try another hour of sanding today, but this time with the orbital sander. Random orbital sander. 2013. With 80 grit sandpaper on a random orbital sander, got out a lot more than with the orbital sander. Now looking at the sanding in the morning, there's like layers here. Oh yeah, that bit I went through onto the actual glass, I think. This bit's really hard and smooth. I just spent $250 on sanders and sandpaper. It's looking like I'm going to spend at least $1,000 on paint, so $250 on sanders doesn't seem like a terribly big deal.
You think you're a genie, and you think you got me so. Baby, I ain't got no, baby, I'm somebody.